If you've visited a major museum, zoo, or other international cultural attraction, including the 3 largest aquariums in the world, there's a good chance your experience, at least in part, was thanks to some folks from here in St. Louis. Local design company PGAV is the creative mastermind behind everything from the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum to the 5-story aquarium in Abu Dhabi to their newest project, the updated World's Fair exhibit at the Missouri History Museum.
Most of what we do here at PGAV is catered for guests. We want the guests to have the best possible time and to experience whatever that storyline it is that we're being asked to create. Anything from creating a different world, a different setting, to just like in the case of the History Museum, creating something, presenting something in a historical context that a guest has never seen before, especially being something that was built in 1904, and so taking imagery from the time period and recreating it in a way that gives the guests an experience that they haven't had before.
Well, I think this is really a new, engaging version of the World's Fair exhibit. We've taken the large model and added projection mapping to it to sort of liven the space, liven the site. I think there are new stories as well, really digging into the past and looking at some of the new stories that hadn't been told before. And so really giving people a different perspective about the World's Fair exhibit.
They attribute their success to knowing what makes a good story and how to tell it.
We do a lot of research up front to understand what really visitors are looking for, number one, in engaging with experiences. We use our experience across all of our market sectors, so everything from theme parks to museums to zoos and aquariums. We use all of that knowledge to help inform our work. And, always keeping up on the trends. But ultimately, it's really finding the right deliverable for those stories, using the best tool to deliver the best story.
In the case of the World's Fair exhibit, that means finding modern ways for visitors to relate to an event that took place more than a century ago.
So there's a touchscreen component to this around the model. There are 4 different touchscreens, and it allows you to scroll through, read about different buildings, different parts of the fair. Information that may have been there before, but now it's a little bit more technology driven this time around. There's also a massive 16 by 18 foot projection screen above the model, and this projects old imagery from 1904, from during the World's Fair.
But by far their biggest project to date is located far, far away from the arch, in Abu Dhabi.
The biggest project that I've worked on was the most recent SeaWorld Abu Dhabi project. That was about a 10-year-long project that we worked on. It's the world's largest aquarium. We were being asked to do things that we'd never done before, things that weren't ever done before, especially just in the grand scale of this massive aquarium. PGAV had its hand on pretty much every element of the design, from the actual building of the aquarium all the way to the different shapes of the tanks, to the theming that went into the tanks, to the entire guest experience, the guest journey from beginning all the way through the end. There's media. We had our hands in pretty much everything to some degree with that project.
And as exciting as it may be to work on exhibits half a world away, Company Vice President Diane Lochner says she'd love to create an all-encompassing project in St. Louis.
I think really someplace that can really tell the comprehensive story of St. Louis. We have a lot of different museums in St. Louis, but one location that could really let us think about the full history of St. Louis, and maybe it's a big multimedia experience.
The designers say they plan to keep telling these immersive stories, from the future of the world's aquariums to the history of the World's Fair.